have Miss Debbie Ray Rivers on the line from Scars. I also have another lady as well. So I am fingers are crossed that both of my lines are going to work, of course. So I'm going to start with Miss Debbie. Good morning, Miss Debbie. How are you?
Well, good morning. I'm doing great. Thank
Oh,
you for having me.
yes. Thank you so much for being here. And let's see if we can connect Miss Kelly to the line as well. Good morning, Kelly. Are you here?
I am here. Good
All right. Big
morning.
shout out to Telephone Company. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Absolutely.
So I have Miss Debbie Ray Rivers on the line from Scars, and I also have Kelly Hunt joining us this morning, and we have a lot to discuss. So, Miss Debbie, where do you want to start this morning with regards to children and parents, and how parents actually can protect, have the conversation with their kids?
Absolutely. Thank you so much again for having Kelly with the Coalition for the Protection of Children and myself representing SCARS. We just want to say thank you again. I think this discussion is going to be so important for our parents. The best protection for children is our relationship with our children. That is so very important. And the more that we talk to them and have discussions with them about body safety, the better. We really want to empower them and help them find their voice. Mm-hmm. That is so critical for our little ones. You know, building their self-esteem and their confidence, and, you know, regardless of what anyone says to them or does, you know, we have to let them know that they're special, they have a voice, and they can come and tell us anything about anyone. And also what's so important is their body is very special, and nobody should view them, take pictures of their private body parts, or touch them in their private body areas. And it's a really important message when it comes to protection and sexual abuse, which is our mission, of course, is to reduce the risk of sexual abuse.
Do you find that some parents find it difficult to have this conversation with their children if they haven't started already?
Yes, I do believe it is. I know that was what happened with me. It's a very uncomfortable conversation. You don't know if too much is, you know, if you say too much, is that too much? Is that going to scare them, cause them fear? And so that's why it's best that we say, and we teach in our training, is to start early and to talk often. You know, and you can start as early as 4 years old and letting a child know that their body is very special, and you can start really giving them the proper names of their private body parts and letting them know that their private parts are private, and so are other people. And they are to, you know, respect their body and respect other children's bodies, and they're not to touch children or let anybody touch them in their private body parts. And they can say no, even when someone they know and love makes them feel uncomfortable, helping them find their voice. And so, you know, I think that's a message that we can convey early and often. And Kelly at the Coalition, their organization, does an amazing job in going into. We teach adults. SCARS gets our message to the adults in our community, and Kelly's message is to the children. The important message of the Coalition is for the children, and so we're like, it's kind of like a 360 approach to really putting child protection as a priority in our beautiful country of Bermuda.
Absolutely. For those of you that are tuned in, I have Debbie Ray Rivers on the line from SCARS, and I have Kelly Hunt from the Coalition for the Protection of Children. Kelly, your mandate, or the Coalition's mandate, is child safety matters, correct?
Well, our mission essentially is to ensure that children grow up in a safe, nurturing, and healthy environment with equal access to opportunities. But we do teach a preventative education program called Safety Matters. Mm-hmm. And as Debbie said, it's sort of a child version of what SCARS does, although there are other elements in there, such as responsible use of technology, and we talk about bullying and things like that. But essentially, there are 5 safety rules that we teach, which is developmentally appropriate depending on the age of the child. So in P1, you know, it's really, like Debbie said, to start that conversation early and tell them that they're really special, that there's only one of them in the entire world. And so because they're so special and unique, no one should hurt them on purpose. So it's really that message that, you know, is so simplified at that age group. But by the time we get to, you know, P6, we're talking about things like sexting and having some of those more uncomfortable conversations that we would like to encourage parents to as well, have and start early and talk about those kinds of things. So, yeah, that's what we do in many of the schools. We hope to get to all of them, but so far we've trained over 1,000 students in that program. So, yeah.
And for some of the older children, how does social media play a part in this?
I would say it plays a huge, huge part. I think, for our teens or our, preteens, in many ways, what they put out there on social media or what they're receiving, really becomes a reflection of how they see themselves. And so, that's important as well as a message to parents that you don't have to, put your bodies out there, pose in bikinis or whatever it is to feel as though, you need enough likes to be valuable. And you know how this has sort of become the norm. And I think, again, it's reflective of self-worth is what we're seeing. So the more likes, the more you feel valuable and the more you feel like, well, if I do something even more provocative, perhaps I'll get more likes. And so, we just want to teach, healthy behaviors. And yes, be proud of your body, love your body for sure. But, it's not something that is the total sum of who you are as an individual, right? So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, for those that are more so parents or even individuals in the community, for both you, Kelly, and Debbie, if anyone has not done any of the training, either at the Coalition or SCARS, would you encourage individuals to do some of the training courses or get involved so they can have a better understanding of, all of this? Because sometimes it's a bit much for many people.
Yeah. Come on, Debbie.
Yeah. So, well, I'll talk about the SCARS training. So SCARS has been offering a free sexual abuse prevention training since our inception. So since May 2012, we have been educating our adults. It's an adult-only training in how to recognize, prevent, and react responsibly to the issue of child sexual abuse. Years ago, we weren't even comfortable using the word sex or the word molest. And so it's really important that we get comfortable with the topic. And the only way to minimize risk is to learn everything you can about how to do that. So SCARS offers a 3-hour prevention training that was developed by an organization in the United States called Darkness to Light. We've brought that to Bermuda. We've trained close to 20% of the adult population, and we can really see the impact in that because parents are talking to their children early, and organizations are attending these trainings, and then they're looking at the risk in their own organization to try to, really cover up those holes and try to make, send a clear message. Anyone who wants to come to work at their organization will have to do the training and really look at their vulnerabilities. And so we can see the impact in that already because a lot of organizations, like almost every school in Bermuda, now mandates the SCARS training, which is great for our children. That is really important in the protection of children. This is nothing more than just protecting children. And so we offer this 3-hour training. We actually have, because of COVID, have not been able to do it because it involves face-to-face, classroom trainings. And we don't want to bring people in classrooms with masks on their mouth, over their mouths and feeling fearful because this is already a emotive subject. And it can cause some anxiety, especially if we have victims and survivors in the room. So we were so excited that Darkness to Light have launched a virtual version, and we begin that training next week. We're so excited, starting with the BUEI and their camp. We are going to be training some of their counselors because they require it in order to work at the BUEI summer camp. So we start our virtual training sessions next week. It is free. There's no cost. It costs $3. It takes 3 hours, and you have to send an email to our program director, which is helen@scars.bm. We're going to be only able to offer 4 classes a week, and so we'll be sending something out in the community through our SCARS Facebook on what that's going to look like. But we're really excited so we can continue the mission by continuing the education. But that's what we do. We actually just target the adults. and we get them to share this information that they learn in the training with their children and with other adults, because sometimes it's very important that we intervene inappropriate behaviors. Child sexual abuse is preventable, but we now have signs to look out for because we're having conversations about this issue.
Exactly. And when you speak of adults, young adults, so would you say ages 18 can start the courses, or 21?
No, 18 can. This is a darkness to light policy, but you can also join at 16, but you have to have parental permission in writing from the parent. And the reason we don't provide our training to children is because we don't want them to be triggered. Yeah. It's our training involves a video with survivors telling their story. It can be very triggering. I know that for myself because I am a survivor. And so we don't want there to be a disclosure. We are not counselors or psychologists or therapists. There won't be any in the room. So that's why, our message is targeted to adults, and Kelly's message at the coalition is targeted for the children.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, starting the conversation, having the conversation, and understanding, I guess understanding is definitely paramount in all of this, because it's not an easy conversation to have for many people. I mean, some people are just like, I am not ready for this yet.
Yeah, I think, the main message for both programs, and SCARS does such a wonderful job and has been able to get it out to so many of us in Bermuda, is really that it's an adult's responsibility to keep our children safe. That is, at the end of the day, what it comes down to. And while we try to empower our children to speak up and find their voice, they're still going to have to find it to a responsible adult, one that really keeps those safety rules, that, that it's my body, and that, secrets, if they're not about a surprise party, that's, so I'll just share with you the 5 safety rules that we teach, and it's developmentally appropriate. So like I said, it changes a bit in terms of the content under, but the first one is know what's up, and that's the it's my body part. So for the younger P1 to P3, they're coloring in the bathing suit, saying like, these are the parts that are mine and that, are special, and no one should really touch those in any way at this point, right? And then we have spot red flags. So that's the secret part. That's the part where, if you feel uncomfortable, you should be able to say that you feel uncomfortable. Then we say, make a move. That means, you have choices. You can leave a situation. Hopefully, if you can't, you can talk about it later. So talk it up, definitely finding their voice. And at the end of it, number 5 is no blame, no shame. So we don't want children to feel like if something has already happened to them, that it's their fault because of any reason at all. It's not their fault. It's never their fault. And they will try to tell adults. It's important for adults to know that they'll test the waters to see how they respond. So it's important that with the SCARS training, adults are able to learn how to respond in the event that something happened, and, how to get them that support and help. And yeah, it's a really great program that I would encourage everyone to do. And I know it is difficult. It's a heavy topic, but it is important. Yeah.
So if parents are interested, how do they contact the coalition? Is it easy to send an email, or should they just call? If parents are interested, how do they contact the coalition? Is it easy to send an email, or should they just call?
So we actually work with the Ministry of Education on that. So we just go directly into the schools. They can certainly call us at 295-1150. But if they're interested in training for themselves, then they can contact SCARS. Debbie, what's your contact info?
So the best contact is Helen, our director of programs, who does all the organizing of the trainings, and her name is Helen Pond, Ponte, and her email is Helen, Helen, @scars.bm, B for Bermuda, M for Mary, BM.
Okay, so Helen at scars.bm if anyone is interested in that particular training, and the training with regards to the Coalition for the Protection of Children, you go through the ministry, so they can Kelly, they can contact, our listeners can contact the ministry directly.
Absolutely. Well, they can contact us at cpc@coalition.bm, or they can go to our website, www.coalition.bm, and find out more information or ask us anything they want to know. I mean, this program, we do send home quite a bit of take-home materials so that parents can get involved and know that they've probably been chosen as a safe adult, and what does that mean, and those kinds of things. So I would encourage, if your child is doing the program, to definitely get involved, read the materials, ask the questions, and get trained in SCARS.
All right, there you have it. Miss Debbie and Kelly, I want to thank both of you for joining us this morning. We have another, is it 2 or 3 weeks, Miss Debbie?
We do. We have another 2 weeks. Next week, June 18th, we're going to be with you with Sloan Wilson from CyberTips. We're collaborating with CyberTips next week, and we're going to talk about online safety on Thursday, June 18th. And June 25th, Helen and I are going to be on talking about our virtual training.
Okay, there you have it. Well, I am glad that we have 2 more weeks left of this, and, getting our listening audience and the community involved. It's good because it's necessary, and even if it is uncomfortable, our listening audience, parents, can start somewhere, and we probably have young people that would like to sign up for the training as well, so that will be great. Kelly, would you like to leave our listening audience with anything else with regards to the Coalition for the Protection of Children, how they can contact you or how they can get involved?
Yeah, we're always there. We're available for any questions or any resources that you might have, whether it's keeping your children safe over the summer or anything like that. It's cpc@coalition.bm or 295-1150.
Okay, and Miss Debbie, do you have any lasting words for our listening audience?
Yes, I just want to say, when we raise children who are safe and healthy and happy, that really contributes to happy, healthy, safe adults, and then ultimately a happy, healthy, safe community. And so it is so important that we get it right when they're little, because little ones become adults, as we know. And scarred children can become scarred adults. And it is so important that we learn everything we can to protect our little ones, because no child should be harmed in this world who comes into this world. And so it's critically important that we do all we can. And we also have a wonderful website, scarsbermuda.com, and it has a lot of great resources for parents. And so we want to thank you, Christy, for this, Miss Bang, for this wonderful opportunity to share the message of child protection with you.
Well, I'm glad that, thank you very much. I'm glad that you and Kelly were able to connect with us this morning. So big shout out to Telephone Company. Thank you so much. For those that are tuned in, you can go to SCAR's website, scarsbermuda.com. Take a look at all of the information. And if you feel free to get in contact with them, you can also go to the Coalition for the Protection of Children's website at coalition.bm. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, it has all of their information on there, how to get in contact with them. You can send them an email or you can give them a call. Kelly and Ms. Debbie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You as well.
Okay.
Take care. Bye.